Good evening and welcome to this very special edition of Newshour Agenda that we are bringing to you from Chennai, right outside the Lok Bhavan, which has been the scene of much hectic political activity over the past 48 hours. Vijay's political debut for the moment has been delayed. While Vijay, of course, sprung a huge surprise with 108 seats in the recently held Tamil Nadu elections, he has stopped short of the 118 required to form the majority in the state. And that's the message that has been sent to Vijay in his two meetings with Governor Rajendra Arlekar. Today, Vijay has been asked to get letters of support from the MLAs so that he can tell the governor that he has a clear majority and then can be sworn in as the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. But will Vijay be able to do that? Will he be able to cobble together the smaller parties and bring their support, drum up their support so that he can form the government? That's a big question.
One party has emerged as single largest party, and that single largest party makes claim to form the government, and it should be given the chance, opportunity to form the government.
They are having their state level committee meeting tomorrow. Okay. So after their meeting, they will inform what decision they will taken. But at the same time, CPA and CPM also having their discussion, state level committee. So we all the three parties will take unanimously a decision.
There is a party, Tamil Vetri Kazhagam, and its leader, Mr. Vijay, who have been voted as the single largest party by popular verdict. Why he is not being called upon to stake his claim? This creates a lot of suspicion. So the governor of Tamil Nadu should follow strictly the democratic convention.
And news now coming in from Puducherry, where about 45 MLAs are holed up at that arcane resort, where we understand that Edapadi Palaniswamy is also meeting with his MLAs of the AIADMK. The resort has been booked for the next 6 days, we are told, and there could be, in fact, conference halls that are being separately, used for the meetings as well. Let me quickly take this across to Dharni, who is joining us. Dharni, this is very, very significant news because clearly, for Edapadi Palaniswamy, the question was whether his party will be split. Now the question is whether his party will be looking at tying up with the TVK or the DMK and its allies in a bid to save itself. What really is happening and what is the significance of these meetings? Dharni.
Well, since yesterday morning, there was speculation that the ADMK is vertically split. One section wants to support Vijay Vetri Kalagam, and the other section, including Edapadi Palaniswamy, doesn't want to extend support, is what we've been reporting since yesterday morning. But last night, remember, there was a press conference by senior leader KP Munusamy, in which he categorically told that ADMK will not extend any kind of a support to TVK, neither inside nor outside. So after that, all the ADMK MLAs, they were moved to a resort in Puducherry, and now Edapadi Palaniswamy is holding a meeting with them. Now we're able to understand through sources that Edapadi Palaniswamy has in a way, convinced the ADMK MLAs into not extending support to Vijay Vetri Kalagam, but still there are some of them who are still not okay with it, and Edapadi Palaniswamy is trying to hold conversations with them, and he is trying to convince them otherwise, is what sources tell us. But of course, there is also a buzz that the DMK and the ADMK can come together with their alliance partners to form the majority. So Edapadi Palaniswamy has so far not refuted this speculation. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has spoken about it, and he says that he doesn't want to disturb TVK, but EPS so far has not refuted this allegation.
Okay, so Dharni, stay with us because we have more news coming in at this point of time. DMK has said that the governor is well within his power to ask for Vijay to prove his majority in the House.
The governor is very well within his power to ask, how are you going to prove the majority? Give me the letters.
I don't think there is any confusion with Raj Bhavan or the governor. He will go by the constitution. Very simple.
Meanwhile, the DMK has also issued gag orders to all its spokespersons and asked them not to participate in TV debates until further notice. Let's quickly get in a word from Somit on that. Somit, the DMK, while on the one hand, of course, has put a resolution condemning what the Congress party has done. At the same time, the comments coming in from several of its leaders using strong words and language like backstabbing appears to have had its impact, and now they've asked their spokespersons not to participate in TV debates. Soumit, if you can hear me, I was just asking you about how DMK has in fact issued these gag orders despite its one-line resolution condemning the Congress, but words such as backstabbers being used by its spokespersons is something that DMK also does not want to associate with or want to further aggravate matters with the Congress at the moment, it appears. Soumit.
Well, that's right, Madhav. See, already strong statements have come in from the DMK leaders, including they stated that Congress not only backstabbed, but also this is nothing but a betrayal. For, nearly 2 decades now, over 2 decades now, they are together. And just to be in power, they have, went ahead and supported DVK. And now they have, banned and a gag order has been issued for all the leaders, especially the spokespersons, national spokespersons, to go and participate in the debates. So they will be not speaking a word or giving any statement until further orders from the DMK chief. So we'll have to wait and see when that will happen. But as of now, they held back all the leaders speaking to the media, and also after what happened yesterday, and DMK chief himself has come out and stated that for the next 6 months we wanted TVK to be in the in the government, and they formed the government. So we will, after that we will take call, is what we they have stated, Madhav.
All right, I'd like to thank you both, Dharni as well as Soumit, for joining us on the show and breaking it down for our viewers. But let's quickly open this up to our panelists.
You're watching the News Hour at 10.
Joining us, with us is Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist. Also with us is V. Subramanian, political analyst. Lata Srinivasan is also a senior journalist joining us. We have Suman Siraman, political analyst, with us. We also have with us Kamruzaman Chowdhury, political analyst, as well as S. Vaidyanathan, who's a TVK supporter. Let me start with you first. Mr. Vaidyanathan, what really are Vijay's options at this point of time? Now, we know that at least 3 of his potential allies who are in the erstwhile DMK Congress alliance, that is the VCK, the CPI and the CPM, would of course be holding meetings tomorrow. But even if they do come together, Vijay's numbers are on the razor's edge. He of course will have to resign from one seat goes to a speaker. Will that number be enough for him to come together and tell the governor that he has a clear majority?
Yeah, of course, yeah, the TVK now has got a majority of 108. Of course, Congress is supporting TVK. But the problem is now the CPI and VCK and IUML. So they need to give us support. That is where the problem comes actually. So they have to get the proper meeting with the DMK. So based upon that opinion, then they will join. So it will take, I think by Monday, it will be a clarity. So Monday or Sunday, there will be some clarity as per the base from TVK.
No, but the point is, when you were cobbling together this alliance, why did you rush into it with Congress? Did you not think of the fact that you would need a majority? Obviously, to win a floor test, you would need that majority. So why didn't you reach out to these parties earlier?
See, as per the plans, before Congress, they had an earlier lineup aligned with TVK. So before the elections, so they dropped the plans. Now only they come to understand they have to go with TVK. But the rest of the parties like VCK, CPI and all, so they had a earlier long relationship with the DMK. That's why they are thinking about whether to join with TVK or not. But the thing is, my point is, they have to think about the public. Okay, the public is a person who got affected. Now TVK has got a high number, 108. So they are affecting the public scenario. So they have to think about the public. They're actually thinking about their power. I don't know. That's what my opinion. They have to think about the public. Because it can't go like this.
Let me quickly take this across to Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar Iyer, there are multiple points of view. The TVK's point of view is that we are the single largest party, but the governor, they've gone to the governor with both the TVK and the Congress's numbers. The governor, is he right or wrong in saying that come back with the numbers of your alliance and tell us if you have the majority? Shekhar Iyer.
No, correct. There are several Supreme Court judgments that the governor, in the case of a house, the governor has 3 options. One, he can call the single largest party, which is in a position to prove majority, number 1. Number 2, whether if the first is not the case, the second case is the pre-poll alliance. If they have the numbers, he can call. The third situation is where there is a post-poll alliance. Now, in the case of first one, where the single largest party is called, there are several occasions where the governor has called the party and asked them to prove on the house. But there is also one occasion, a prominent occasion of 1998, when Vajpayee, got whatever numbers he had. President K.R. Narayan insisted, you bring me letters of support. That is the time when the then ADMK leader Jayalalitha delayed sending that letter. So in this case, the governor is saying you bring those letters. Of course, people will cite the case of Karnataka, 2018, when the governor invited Yediyurappa to prove majority because he was the single largest party. The Congress and JDS rushed to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court directed the speaker to immediately hold the floor test and not give 15 days time. So there are several interpretations, but this area where the governor decides, that area he has a discretion, but that is subject to a Supreme Court review. Now, in this particular case, what has happened is when the first time Vijay approached the governor, he did not produce those letters of support. See, the problem is he produced a letter, Congress offering support, whereas the governor insisted, where is the letter from those 5 MLAs? So there has been, then they thought that Congress offering support is a big thing, and they made a big declaration. But one more thing, what we are seeing right now, that the going-ons in the DMK and the going-ons in the ADMK are very clear. There is a tremendous pressure on both the leadership to keep their flock together. After because there was one proposal from Madhav Arjuna to EPS, which promised 2 deputy CMs and 12 ministerial berths. But the ADMK has to wait for 6 months. Now, in the DMK, there is a section of former ministers, some who have survived the elections and some who have not. They feel that they are even ready to leave the DMK and go and join TVK, because they fear that because they don't see a future for DMK in the current scenario. Similarly, in the ADMK, there are MLAs who don't see a future. They feel if the parties are not, like in the case of, if ADMK leadership is not ready to support TVK, then they better look out for themselves. So in order to prevent any operation by TVK leaders like Sengote, they've taken them to Puducherry. In the DMK, I have information, there are many MLAs who feel that they have to go that side, otherwise they expect the new government to get after them.
Right. Let me bring in Sumansi Raman on that. Sumansi Raman, notwithstanding, let's go point by point, notwithstanding what's happening within the DMK and the ADMK camps, the larger question is the actions in front of the governor. Now, either, as Shekhar Iyer rightly said, you can always approach as a single largest party. You can also approach as a pre-poll or a post-poll coalition with the majority number. But in this, Vijay's case is a peculiar hybrid, because he has gone with his numbers and the numbers of the Congress and said, look here, I have 113 MLAs supporting me. I should be allowed to stake claim to become the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. It doesn't fall within the first or the second definition if you go strictly by the rule book. Sumansi Raman.
Madhav, if the governor felt that that was the problem, he could have told Vijay, either you have to form a government as a single largest party or you have to form the government as an alliance. If you are forming the government as an alliance, I cannot permit it because you have not given me 118. However, if you are the single largest party and you are the only claimant, I can invite you to form the government. In which case, Vijay during his meeting today would have given a separate letter without the Congress and given him the 108 signatures, 107 signatures. What is the issue? See, this is a technicality. I don't think this changes the nature of where we are. There is only one party which has staked a claim. None of the other parties have staked a claim. This party has 108 seats, 107 if you assume Vijay has to resign 1 seat. He has demonstrated, if you don't want him to demonstrate now, he will demonstrate it on the floor of the House. Either he wins the confidence vote or he loses it. What are you going to do by saying you have to go and get me 5 more names, 6 more names now? It has not happened before, multiple times, where parties have been allowed to form minority governments and prove the majority on the floor of the House. What is the issue here? Why is the government...
Subramaniam, I'd like you to respond to that. What is the issue here? Ask Subansi Raman. There have been, I got your point. I'm putting the question across. Let Mr. Subramaniam answer that. Why is the governor delaying it? There are instances of minority governments being allowed to be formed and then having to prove their support on the floor of the House. Is that not the precedent? Is that not the case? If that is allowed constitutionally, then why is the governor not allowing it? Is Subansi Raman. And the question that TVK, Congress and others are also asking today, including several prominent legal experts such as Abhishek Manu Singhvi and Kapil Sibal. Your answer, Mr. Subramaniam.
See, technically, governor would have accepted if it is a single largest party, TVK given the representation to form the government. So the letter what they gave, it's neither a pre-poll alliance nor a post-poll alliance with the majority of the numbers which are required to form a government, right? So what governor would have understood, okay, you have attempted to reach out to the parties. Only one party has given the consent to be, support you, which is Congress, which is having 5 seats. So 108 plus 5 is only 113. So which gives a indirect message that other parties, with whom we had a discussion are not willing to support you. So that is the problem now. So he has gone with the letter, half a letter, right? So he has approached the parties which are in the pipeline to give the acceptance now. So how do we know that they will give the acceptance? Okay, that is the concern what governor would have had in his mind. Yes, there are in the instances in the past, okay, with the single largest party not having the major number as 118, governors allowed them to form a government and take a test on the floor, okay, that is allowed in the law. But you have gone in midway. Neither you are having a full number post-alliance methodology or having a full number pre-poll alliance. He never had a pre-poll alliance, so that is very clear. So that is why it created a lot of confusion. Okay, that's why governor is taking time. Okay.
No, but he is saying single largest party is allowed. One second. Mr. Srinivasan, answer to Subansi Raman's question. If single largest parties in the past have been allowed in a hung assembly, why is that not being done in this case? Simple answer, simple question.
Sorry? Madhav, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat it?
It's a simple question that Subansi Raman has asked you, Mr. Subramaniam. Now, question for Mr. Subramaniam is what you essentially asked Subansi Raman. I'm just repeating that. If there are instances of single largest parties in a hung assembly situation who have been invited to prove their majority on the floor of the House after taking the oath of office, why is that not applicable in this case, Mr. Subramaniam? Simple question.
No, Madhav, I think I answered your question. So he went with the additional party with whom he has not had the pre-poll alliance. Okay, so he showed a 113, a number to the governor. So governor asked simply, okay, you neither had a pre-poll alliance number nor a post-poll alliance number. That is the problem. Technically, if he'd have gone with the same 108, his own MLA's number, I think governor would have allowed him to take a oath and show the the strength on the floor. So that is missing now. So that is why I think governor is having a little doubt. You have approached other parties.
But isn't that a technicality, as Subansi Raman is saying? That's just a technicality.
Governor will take decision only before him what are the paper presented. He cannot go beyond any law, right? So he will take decision only the papers what it has been presented to you.
Subansi Raman, okay. Subansi Raman, governor will take action on the basis of the law and the provisions. Please respond to Mr. Subramaniam.
No. First of all, whether he has tried to say that he will form an alliance or whether he is single largest party, the fact remains nobody else has made a claim. So the governor is well within his rights in saying, look, don't use the 5 of the Congress in that letter to me now. Go as 108, single largest party. I'm inviting you to form the government. Go ahead, form the government. I'm giving you a week's time. Prove your majority on the floor of the House. End of story. Nothing, there is no constitutional impropriety at all in this. So the fact that he has not done that means that questions will be asked. Why is he delaying? And every minute we are getting more news that the DMK and the AIADMK are coming closer to each other to work out some kind of a solution. And you saw the resolution, Madhav, that the DMK passed authorizing Mr. Stalin to take whatever decision may be necessary in the party's interest. What does that mean? To keep non-Dravidian parties away from power and to ensure that a stable government is formed. The DMK has already said 2 days ago they're sitting in the opposition. Where is this question of taking decisions to ensure that non-Dravidian governments are not formed? So clearly something is going on. And I think the governor is acting to give this act between the DMK and the AIADMK time to come together. That's basically the objective. With the blessings of the BJP.
No, I don't.
All right, let me bring in. Okay, let me bring in, in fact, check. Yeah, okay, this is a problem.
We cannot add colors to all the events happening in Tamil Nadu to bring BJP in all areas. Okay, so why governor should go beyond the letter and interpret what TVK would have thought about it for forming an alliance? He will, as a judicial person, right? So when you're presenting the paper to the court will take action based on the document. Similarly, governor has taken the action based on the document that has been presented to him. Why he has to interpret what should have been the TVK's case? So go and take this letter back and come with the new 108 letter. He has not got any duty to do that.
Okay, let me quickly bring in Kamruzaman Chaudhary also, Lata Srinivasan also with us. But Lata, before I come across to you, let me get in a quick response from Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, the question that many are asking is this, that yes, the Congress and the TVK may have thought it's a good idea to come together. But did they not think it through? Did they not think of who are the other allies who they should have got on board? Because, if you're in a situation today where you're saying that the governor should have invited you, and that has been the precedent, and perhaps so. The point is ultimately you will have to prove those numbers on the floor of the House. If you don't have those numbers, then does the governor have a point?
No, absolutely. Madhav, the point out here is that when TVK and Congress came, because of the popular mandate that TVK got in Tamil Nadu, it's imperative on the political parties to form a party which is a popularly elected this time, though they fell short of the majority. But the governor acting as a political actor out here is very unfortunate, because for the simple reason, there are precedents like the Sarkaria Commission or the SR Bommai versus the Union of India judgments that have come. What did the Supreme Court of India say? Has repeatedly held that the governor is a constitutional head, not a political actor, and must act to preserve constitutional morality, democracy and majority rule. Majority must be tested on the floor of the assembly, not decided by the governor subjectively. Now, if the governor, Mr. Rajendra Arlekar, thinks that with one BJP MLA, it can make a coalition of the DMK and the AIDMK and somehow creep in the BJP, that means the BJP is leading the coalition of the in Tamil Nadu. He's in a very fool's paradise living out there, because the mandate that TVK got must be respected. You give him time, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 10 days. There are examples, precedents that have been there where minority governments have been sworn in the state. Now, why in the case of Tamil Nadu? Just because Amit Shah's nominee in Tamil Nadu wants that the popular government should not come in, because Tamil Nadu, or rather in the entire South India, starting from Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, BJP is out of power.
But how do you know it is at the behest of one person?
Yes, please.
No, it's okay. The BJP may be involved. One second. Let's go one by one. And let me also quickly bring in other panelists as well. Shekhar Iyer, I want you to respond to this. Is this all happening, at the behest of the BJP, as is being alleged by, a section? We've heard the TVK, the Congress repeatedly saying this, that this is BJP's attempt at trying to scuttle a Congress government that's coming to power with the help of Vijay. How much of this is actually, happening at the central level is a question then that arises, because even the developments within AIADMK, can they happen without some kind of blessing from the center?
So, as I said earlier, they want to protect their flock. Because within the DMK, there is so much of restlessness, they want to go there. Similarly, within ADA, they want to go. But there are other two difficulties which we have to take note, Madhavan. See, earlier it was decided that Congress, CPM, CPI, VCK, they would approach this matter as a bloc. But Congress went in and showed up a pact. This has upset the leadership of CPI, CPM and VCK. They are on record on this, that we were supposed to go as a bloc, number one. Number two, you see what has happened is, since the governor is insisting on a letter, the left parties as well as VCK are not in a position to give a letter, because on DMK, particularly Stalin met these leaders today. He wants the DMK alliance to be protected, but at the same time, public stance is that DMK doesn't want to prevent Vijay from, they do not want to be a huddle. So these leaders would like a situation where, floor tests take place, there is an abstention, so that they are not committed with a letter to support Vijay. But that would mean they have also broken away from the DMK-led alliance. See, there is a lot of posturing going on in this. See, what is the problem? Initially, VCK, Tirumavalavan said, we are ready to back, that is a mandate. He was echoing the Congress statement. But before anything could be considered, because these three together make up 6. Now, in the case of left parties, they would like that, because they don't want to go against the mandate. Neither would the center want to go against the mandate. That would completely finish BJP forever. But here there are problems. Why are not these parties straight away offering the letter? Because they are also keeping options open. And Stalin's position is, public's position is DMK will not stand in the way. But the parties are being told in the alliance, don't leave our alliance. How can they be in the DMK alliance and also offer support there? But they don't want to commit on a written form. No, you cannot say that the governor should ignore all this.
Let me quickly bring in...
He's insisting on letter.
Okay, let me also bring in Lata Srinivasan on this point. Lata Srinivasan, I want you to come in on this as the only person on the panel who actually knows Vijay. There's going to be a lot of criticism about the initial steps that he's making into the world of politics, which is quite different from the world of film, where he's, of course, been, someone who's ruled for the past, several decades. Now, somewhere people will also ask, is this the lack of experience of what the implications could be of the steps that Vijay is taking? Or is it merely politics, the big, bad, brutal world that Vijay will now have to come to terms with, and he's taking a bit longer to get used to it? What can we expect in coming days, Lata, in your view?
Madhav, you're absolutely right. I think it's a combination of two things. One, of course, is inexperience. He doesn't have any experience in the political world, except for, meeting Rahul Gandhi once and meeting, Jayalalitha and so on and so forth in relation to his films or social issues. He doesn't have any grassroots level political experience at all. So this whole world is new for him. So it's in many ways, it's very cinematic. What can we expect in the coming days? See, ultimately, even the team that he has, whether it's Arun Raj and Nirmal Kumar, they do come with experience, and of course, Mr. Sengote. But is Vijay somebody who's going to listen to all of them? I think not. I think he's going to be making his own decisions, because he's always been somebody who makes his own decisions. He decided when he'll come into politics. It wasn't his father, who decided that for him. In fact, when his father sent out a letter stating that, he's converting his fan clubs into, a political party, he immediately took, legal action against his own father. So one we need to understand that he's a man who makes his own decisions, and even if he makes mistakes, it'll be his decisions, And I think we can see a lot more mistakes in the future because of inexperience. And it's going to be, the people of Tamil Nadu who voted for him, most of them are youngsters. I think he's just going to grow and evolve as a politician. He needs to be given some time, and there is a learning curve. He was in cinema for 30 years, but this is not like that. The issue is the political players here are far bigger, far more experienced, and Vijay has many, many challenges ahead of him, and I don't know how he's going to overcome all that. I think it will be a bit of a struggle in the days to come.
All right, this will be a challenge for Vijay in days to come. I think that's a very, very important question. And let me take that question right across to our panelist, who is, of course, in support of the TVK, Mr. Vaidyanathan. I'd like you to report that. How will Vijay overcome these challenges? And I'm going to request Lata to stay on with us to listen into those responses as well, because Mr. Vaidyanathan, or I think we've lost that line with Vaidyanathan. Let me bring in Subansi Raman. Subansi Raman, do you think the fact that he lacks the political experience, and that's quite obvious, he's coming from a different field, which is politics, is that going to show in coming days in Vijay's governance, even if he's able to form this government, cobble together an alliance?
Absolutely. I think we are already seeing evidence of it. Any other savvy political leader would have already hit the streets saying that he is being denied the opportunity to form a government. We have not heard a word from TVK as yet. criticizing the governor? Nothing. And they're saying, no, we are patient, we'll give him one more day and stuff like that. When the ground is slipping from under their feet, they are still not willing to take on the governor, take on the establishment and say that, look, we are being denied our rightful opportunity to stake a claim to form a government. So I think that there is political immaturity. And then this issue of whether they should have just claimed, staked a claim as single largest party instead of having to claim as an alliance. All of these are political inexperience. Mind you, Vijay has not spoken to the public one word after the result. He has not spoken. There has only been one press release which has come out day before yesterday night around 8:30. Nothing else. We have not heard a word from him. That is something which is very significant, because I would have expected someone who is facing a crisis of this proportion to have taken his appeal to the people who voted for him.
And he's not in the habit of doing that. In fact, Lata, I'd like you to come in on this, because the one time that we saw Vijay come in was several days after the entire Karur incident. He put out a video. He has, of course, famously not spoken to any media, given any interviews right through the campaign. Of course, a brilliant social media strategy. You know, he has his teams who make those videos. They're very popular, get huge hits, millions of hits on social media. And that's primarily been the mode of communication for Vijay. Now that he's a mainstream politician and an elected politician who's in all probability going to even head a government, is it time for Vijay to recalibrate that strategy in terms of how he connects and communicates with people? Because he may have had a successful strategy as a film star. It's going to be a different cup of tea if you're actually the chief minister of a state, as Sumant has just demonstrated.
Yeah, absolutely, Madhav. See, 10 years ago, Vijay was more, accessible to the media, right? And suddenly he became a recluse and he stopped giving interviews even before his films. And he's continued the same strategy even, politically. Though he had large campaigns, and held certain public meetings. Of course, the tragedy in Karur, he said it affected him a lot. But again, he didn't speak to the media. He just put out a video on social media. So I think somewhere his communication strategy has to change at this point, now that he is, looking at becoming the next chief minister. And people around him want to create or maintain a sense of mystery about him. They don't want people to have too much access to him as well, and which is okay as long as you're a film star, but it's not okay when you become a politician and especially a chief minister. You need to be accessible to the people. They need to hear you. They need to see you, and you're no longer just a film star. When you say you're serving the public, you're serving the people, you have to be one among the people, right? You cannot stay in a castle and say, I'm going to just wave from here and therefore, reach out to people from here. I think he needs to hit the roads. He needs to really meet people, be accessible, and his communication strategy absolutely has to change. And as Sumant was saying, there was nothing, he made no statement after having won 108 seats, which is very, very surprising. This was his debut electoral poll, and he had a thumping majority. And there was, he didn't put out any video or any thank you to the people and, talk about what he's going to do next for the people of Tamil Nadu, which is very, very surprising.
Kamruzaman Chowdhury, do you share that perception as well? The lack of experience, one can put it that way, but also the fact that he is used to things, in a certain way. When you're a film star, they happen in a certain way. But, once you're a politician, that has to change.
No, Madhav, I don't see it that way, because we have precedents also of NTR, MGR and Jayalalitha. All were film actors. They came into politics line and they run very successful governments after that. When you form a government, of course, the main person will be TVK, Vijay, but the team behind the government is what matters. How he arranges his team. But what's the difference?
Kamruzaman Chowdhury, I just demonstrated. Sorry I'm interrupting you, but the demonstration is very clear. He is used to social media communication, one-way communication, and his team's actually putting out those videos and, expanding on his star power image. That's been the primary mode of communication, which now, when you're a leader, when you're a chief minister, or even as a politician, the mode of communication, even after victory, not addressing your electorate, these are certain basic fundamental questions. And if that is the kind of communication he's used to even during a crisis such as this. How will he govern the state of Tamil Nadu becomes a very important question. That's my limited point. Of course, Jayalalitha and Karunanidhi were very successful as administrators, as communicators also. But is there a difference in the strategy that you're seeing?
No, I think so. He's adopted a very correct strategy. In politics, the lesser you talk, the more successful you be. Being a politician myself, you blabber something today and tomorrow you are made to eat your words. That doesn't suit a politician. So I believe in Tamil Nadu, what's happening out here is a created one. TVK deserves to be called and prove his majority on the floor of the House. But I don't know under whose instruction the governor is denying that. Simple logic. If TVK fails to prove his majority, the government falls. It comes under the animated suspension, the entire assembly. So it doesn't make a difference. Either way, you give a chance to TVK, let him come together. Maybe some smaller parties will come and support him. Or maybe DMK will support him once again. Or maybe AIADMK may support him. Who knows? But the point is that by delaying the entire issue, the governor is inviting horse trading in Tamil Nadu. I can only say that. He's buying time for some big whips who have got vested interest in Tamil Nadu. They are trying to horse trade some MLAs from this way and that way and cobble up a coalition which will not include the Congress party, that I feel. So this needs to be defeated right now either, or I expect TVK to visit Supreme Courts within 1 or 2 days. That's the only way out for TVK and the Congress party right now to stake the claim in the Tamil Nadu.
Let me bring in Mr. Nandakumar. We have a political analyst, Mr. Nandakumar, joining us. Mr. Nandakumar, the question that we are debating here, somewhere or the other, Vijay's political moves, his communication, and the manner in which he has been behaving over the last few days, not even talking to his supporters at a time when he has won the election, and even now, when there's so much of political crisis happening, he's not actually made his views public. Now, he may have avoided giving interviews through the course of the campaign, and that's his choice. But if he's somebody who's serious about governing the state such as Tamil Nadu, can he continue to behave, with his communication strategy or his governance strategy in the manner that he has over the past several years, perhaps? Mr. Nandakumar.
Yeah, we cannot have a control or command over other person's behavior. So you behave in a different way, I behave in a different way. At the end of the day, whether as an elected leader, whether he is discharging his duties properly or not, that is what we need to look at. And the delay from the governor's side in calling TVK for forming the government is no way connected with that of the behavior of Vijay. He has to go as per the constitution, what it says, not based on what and how Vijay behaves with his partners or supporters.
No, but Mr. Nandakumar, he could have cobbled together his alliance and gone to the governor's house. He could have drummed up the same support of the CPI, the CPM, the VCK, the IUML, whichever other party that he's now approaching, the PMK, the AMMK, whichever it may be, he could have brought together the numbers and then gone to the governor's house. That's something he could have very easily done, because ultimately he will have to prove that majority on the floor of the house, won't he?
Yes, as you rightly said, it is on the floor of the house, not in the Lok Bhavan, right? And it is not mandatory or necessary for the leader of, that is Vijay, to take all the alliance partners, expect to be alliance partners to the Lok Bhavan. And again, as what is the constitution says, it never mandates that the governor has to be issued with 118 numbers. It is completely based on the date of voting, how many numbers are present and voting. And even there are 3 options for the MLA. One is yes, no. And the governor is forgetting the third one very comfortably, that MLAs can abstain from voting. There is a third option for any MLA sitting there. So why governor is not looking into that? What is the hard and fast rule that the government should have, the TVK should have 118 on the paper? And was it there like in 2018 in Karnataka? Before the governor, then the governor calling the BJP? Was it the same scenario in Maharashtra before they are calling Fadnavis in 2019? And was that the same situation when Mr. Vijay was called to be the Prime Minister of India? Same thing for I.K. Gujral. Same thing for so many prime ministers. Deva Kauda.
Let us
we just debated this point. We just debated this point. We just debated this point. But let me bring in Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar Iyer, would you like to respond to that?
Yes,
okay, Mr. Nandakumar got your point. Shekhar Iyer.
Let's get our facts. There are instances where the single largest party has been called. But there are also instances where the President of India, K.R. Narayanan, insisted on Vajpayee bringing letters of support. And we know what Vajpayee went through to get Jayalalitha's letter of support. Now, here the question is, what has happened is Congress said once we are in, everybody will come in. That has not happened. And the governor, you see, if governor was simply a clerk to issue invitation, then what is the why they left a discretion power there? Supreme Court should have said, you just invite anybody who gets the single largest. See, but that is subject to review. He is not governor aware that his decision will be subject to review. And why is DMK asked his spokesperson not to go? Because they don't want the governor to be criticized for whatever reason. See, a lot of things are happening and the governor has to go before what is before him. Either way, he'll be damned. I mean, let us not sit here and dictate what governor should do. If we have to dictate, then what is the need for governor?
See, the discretion of the governor can be very well used, provided there is someone else is taking the claim. Is there any second or third party taking the claim? It is one and only TVK. Is it not the responsibility of the governor to respect the mandate and sentiment emotion of the voters who have voted and given the mandate as a single largest party? Is that not the responsibility of a governor? He has to take care of both the people's mandate as well as the constitution. He is the constitutional head of the state. Suppose, say, for example, if TVK is not allowed to form the government, what is the alternate governor is having? Already he has dissolved the current assembly. So what is it? What is the alternate he is having on hand? Is he going to declare a governor rule in Tamil Nadu? Is it going to be the president rule? What is this he is looking at? What is the alternate he is having on hand?
No,
you
but
please
Mr.
provide
Nandakumar,
it is up to
Mr. Nandakumar.
Yes, Madhav.
Now, what is the guarantee that TVK will not engage in horse trading then? To cobble together
What is
numbers?
the guarantee that other parties will not engage in horse trading if governor is giving the longer window? How can a governor stop the horse trading?
Are you saying that is happening?
Is
that there is horse trading happening?
So how you tell me how a governor can stop that?
No,
what is the methodology governor has? Now in the recent days,
is it the governor's job to encourage this? No, the governor, it's very simple. One second. Mr. Nandakumar, either a pre-poll alliance or the single largest party or a post-poll alliance which has majority. And it's not for the first time where MLAs have been projected and MLAs have been paraded or list of MLAs have been, sent to the governor or the president at the central level. When these are the three instances, was Mr. Vijay very poorly advised to go with just the numbers of himself and the Congress party to the governor's house? That is the question that many are asking. All right, I think there's an issue with the audio there. Let me bring in Kamruzaman Chaudhary on that. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, would you like to comment on this?
Basically, Madhav, I can say the time has come for a very serious debate on the relevance of the governors and their powers, their jurisdiction in the state. They are acting as puppets of the Bharatiya Janata Party right now, the country over. You like it or not, they are simply puppets right now. Whatever the Home Ministry or Amit Shah dictates, they follow it toto without applying their brain and mind to the people's mandate. We from the Congress party, we are of the opinion that the governor's role should be defined very perfectly, at least by the Supreme Court of India, as to what he can do or what he cannot do. Till the time the ambiguity is there, we'll have governors like Puducherry in Maharashtra, or we will have Mr. Rajendra Arlekar in Tamil Nadu. Previously, we have seen what Mr. Ravi had done in Kerala, what he had done in Tamil Nadu. So the point out here is that a serious debate needs to come in. The role of the governors in a federal structure, whether they are absolutely necessary to stall a popular government, the single largest party, from assuming office in Tamil Nadu.
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Subramaniam. Mr. Subramaniam, would you like to respond to that? Time now that this has brought in, debate is brought in as far as the role of the governor itself. And this is one example of, the governor's powers, the governor's office being abused, is what Kamruzaman Chaudhary is saying. Please respond.
Sir, if TVK leader would have given the simple 108 letter, that is 108 signatures from 108 MLAs, governor would have given probably. Okay, or you would have given the letters from 118 MLAs. Governor would have allowed him to take a oath. This is neither 108 nor 118. It is in between 113. Who gave him the advice? Under what clauses of the Constitution he has given the letter of 113? I'm saying because in the same letter he has said we have got the major 35% of vote share in Tamil Nadu. Okay, in which letter, okay, if the leader of the forming party is going to give a 35% vote share we have got, which leader will give? The vote percentages doesn't matter. We have seen in couple of occasions in the past, the winning party would have got a lesser percentage than the losing party. We have seen in Karnataka, we have seen in Arunachal Pradesh, 0.5% or 1%. The ruling party has gone less than the opposition party. So who gave this all this drafting guidelines for them? So simply because they are having an inexperience which is showing in the implementation, right? Even the opposition party like DMK spokesperson and come advocate.
Mr. Nandakumar, it is neither 108, it is neither 118. You have gone with a 113, something that is not there in the provisions of either the single largest party or the poll coalition. Neither of those conditions were met. The governor has to go by the rules, by the judgments, by the precedents, by the Sarkaria Commission or SR Bommai judgment that is in the law before him. Please respond to Mr. Subramanian.
Yeah, even the same courts have ordered that the legitimacy has to be proved on the floor of the assembly. So whether even suppose say for example it's a technical thing, even if you are having 108 or 113, it's just a number. And suppose say for example argument shake tomorrow if this 5 is removed and if the TVK is submitting that 108, will they allow? So these are all the reasons to delay the things. They are finding the reasons how the things can be delayed. So that the horse trading they are encouraging. They are not controlling the horse trading. So at the end of the day, what Constitution says, and as a governor, he is having
they say that this is the rule of law and the rule of the Constitution. It is as per the Constitution. The other side is saying that it's maybe followed in letter, but not in the spirit of it. We'll have to leave it there. Shekhar Iyer, V. Subramaniam, Lata Srinivasan, Dr. Subansi Raman, Kamaruzzaman Chaudhary, and S. Vaidyanathan, and as Mr. Nandakumar, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening.